There's so much support for our students here, and we are able to support them so well because we are supported so well as staff. There's a leadership with so many, they have such a wide background and things that they bring to the table, and they really support the staff. And then we can filter that down to support our students better.
Alyssa has been an individual who has brought an authenticity to her leadership of the faculty and has taken the time to build relationships with us as the faculty. And then that translates to our individual departments, for me, social studies, where our department can develop an authentic conversation about how do we better develop curriculum, how do we better create meaningful feedback for students. And then those relationships then trickle down into my workshops and into my individual conversations with parents. And so I think there's this, I know it's kind of, the metaphor of the trickle down is a tired one, but it works in this case because you really do have at the very top leadership who is invested in relationships. Laurel Springs, the entire ethos is built around mastery-based learning. It gives me the freedom to say, this is a learning opportunity. So let's build on this together. And that's how I phrase it with families. So those difficult conversations start first with, my goal is for your kid to learn. I'm invested in them growing and being a better person, and that's my end goal. So let's let this just be one more part of that learning experience. And that's how my direct academic department chair approaches the conversation. So when I send out that communication and when we actually sit down and we have that face-to-face Zoom meeting, so when I'm interacting with them, it's because there's an intentionality there. It's because there is direct purpose for that interaction. And I think that purposefulness is a shift in how you think about care. I would argue that there is care in the brick and mortar, in the in-person, but it's different with us because my care is very directed and it's very intentional.
When a student is struggling in the course, whether it's academic dishonesty or they're not doing assignments or they're behind pace, then it's, like, how would I want my children to be treated? And that's what it is. It's like, okay, if John was my child and he's struggling, how do I want to come about this as his teacher to support him? Because we are mastery-based. Mm-hmm. And so struggling is fine, but we have that support that we can offer in so many different ways to support him in that learning and to come alongside him and his family and say, let us help you. Some kids need different levels of care. And some are like, I just have a math question. Great. And some are like, I'm just really struggling. The kid comes, it's like, okay, well, where are we at? And how can we support you in what your goal is? And that's going to look different for every kid. You couldn't do that in the brick and mortar classroom, but in this online environment, we're able to do that and to individualize their education. In an online club environment, is it an authentic relationship? Are you really building relationships? And to me, that really came to life at year-end celebration whenever students who never met in person before, but they were like the best of friends immediately. And I asked a group of kids, I was like, how do you guys all know each other? Did you just run into each other in the hallway? And they were like, oh, well, I'm in so-and-so club with this one. I'm a student. Mm-hmm. And they really just pal around and they're like the best of buds. And it's just like this huge just group of Laurel Springs students just swarming because they're all together and they've all made these connections. They're building easier relationships with teachers, all of these skills that you need to be successful. They're learning here in this environment. They probably wouldn't learn that in a traditional school, honestly.